Okay, so I don't know how long this is going to last. We'll see how long it lasts. But anyways, I thought I'll get back and I'll say a few more things. I went on to look on TikTok and see if I could see anything going on, like with banks or anything like that. And I'll tell you what I do see is a lot of people planning on disrupting the Macy's Day Parade. And they're getting it all set up. And that, I think, is this weekend, too. And so, man, it's just, but it's kind of like there just keeps being one big, like a bunch of shit goes down all weekend, and then some more shit scatters through the week, and then another wave hits. But it's just building up steam and building up steam. That's the thing. And I saw footage, like I'm so sick, I can't even believe it. And, I would like to just be able to just say, I'm not going to eat. I've been drinking my powder. Oh, I forgot I made another cup. So I feel like it's stuck with my teeth. Because it is like a big powder you drink when you take the last bit, And, I forgot I made that cup. It'll be fine. But, oh my God, I can't believe how sick I feel. And I keep getting so hungry, but it's not just like hungry just with my stomach growling, like that happens, but it is, like weak. Like I feel like I'm gonna faint or something. It's so weird. And I just keep losing weight without even trying to, which, that can be concerning. I sure wouldn't go to a doctor about it, because whatever my body's trying to fight, I gotta let my body fight. And I really have to put it into perspective. A lot of times, like, I fought off the Hep C without any doctor intervention or anything, without even knowing I had it. Just knowing I was sick and allowing my body to go through whatever it needed to go through. I really think that was going on when I was on all those meds and I was trying to get off of that. And because I was so sick. But I've had a few times when I've been really, really sick. It's just, I don't know. I don't know when it was I had it, but I know that, I didn't have any doctor intervention. I didn't go get labs. I don't know what my symptoms would have been, because I've had lots of pain forever, for my whole life. So, I don't normally, it takes a lot of pain to make me whine. Obviously, I've got tattoos all over my whole body. And the worst pain I had, because I had to have my kids natural, and I thought that was the worst pain I'd ever had. But the worst pain I'd ever had was my brain collapsing and trying to herniate through my spinal cord. That was the worst pain I've ever had in my life. And that went for days and days. So anyways, I can take a lot of pain. And, but I just, man, I do not feel good at all. And my head and sneezing, not, I guess coughing too, but the sneezing, that just comes and goes. I'll have this sneeze, and then it'll go on for weeks, and then it will just kind of go away. And then here it comes back again. And so it's something they're spraying on us for sure. And this little Jackson, he's so itchy. He's so itchy. So I'm going to wash his skin. And, they're trying to market this dog sickness as a dog sickness. And I just saw this vet who has spoke out against veterinary and Western medical before. And so he talks about food and nutrition and stuff with dogs. He tries to tell some stuff. And I've seen him, I think he's on YouTube and he's on TikTok. He's got blonde, shaggy hair. He's kind of young. I'm sure a lot of people who are into pets have seen him. But he was just doing a little thing about it. And he was saying it doesn't match any sickness. He didn't go and into, what I believe it is. But he said that it's some new virus or something. And he was giving a lot of natural things to do, like give your dogs green tea with honey. So he has a bunch of natural solutions, because that's what he's more about. That's why he got, pushed out by the, the pharmaceuticals, because, he's not representing how he's supposed to. And right now, Hollywood is pushing some people out because they are saying they support the wrong team, which I think, for them to take a stand, doesn't that show who's really in charge over there? You know, I think, you know, Kanye saying that, there's been a lot of people who have tried to say, but, you know, you see what happens when you do. And I went on to Tubi to look for that documentary about the real Hebrews or whatever, and I couldn't find it. There was 200 documentaries, and there was some really, really good ones. Like, it seems like that maybe they're getting them off Burrow or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. I was shocked. But so if you're looking for more education stuff, more stuff that you want to look into stuff, but you got to look at everything with discernment. You don't just believe it 100% because somebody says it. You got to, you know, always look for crossover too. And it's best when crossover comes from somewhere else. But your guides will make sure. You know, I just saw another girl saying, isn't it so wild that after you channel something, that then your guides bring you the information and show you confirmation? I was like, man, I've been saying that so long. It's wild. And, but anyways, so I have a bunch of things right now, okay? So the Tubi has a whole bunch of documentaries that are really good. They seem like that they would be very educational if you're looking for information and stuff. I don't know. I think there was stuff that would have been, I don't know that I saw one that was specifically flat earth or anything, but there was a lot of different ones that seemed like were informative. And I think, you know, it would be a good idea to watch some of those. And when I was looking for the documentaries, it was all way, way down. You have to go through every other subject matter to get all the way down. You go through all the alphabet too. And then it comes into another D. And then after that, it does documentaries. And, but there's 200 and they look good. And I still didn't even find the one that guy was talking about. I still have more to look in other sections, I guess. Because I hadn't reached all the sections. So anyways, if you're looking for, you know, stuff to educate yourself, documentaries are good, like with books and stuff. And so, okay, let me think. Okay, so I think they're trying to market something about the sickness on the dogs too, with some kind of contamination in the food. And so I saw a trucker and he got I don't even know, it was the hugest contract. I don't know if he said 100 million or something, $100 million he was getting, some kind of crazy, I don't know, could have been $175,000. I don't remember what it was. And I can remember my new credit card number. I am starting to remember big, long things and numbers, but I can't remember this one. And so he was there picking up a load, all this brand, it was like at a pet food store. And like a big one, like Petco or something, and all the food, it was so much, and they're throwing it all away. He has to take it all. And he said that the whole parking lot was full with pallets more, and he said there's 40 more pallets inside, and this is just one place. And I don't know if it was a food distribution place or if it was like a Costco, I don't know. They were expensive brands. It wasn't a Walmart food. And it was like Blue Mountain and stuff. It was like expensive looking brands. And so he was taking all these to be destroyed, all this expensive food. And he said it was all contaminated with salmonella. So, and he said after they finished with all of the dog one, he said it's a huge contract that he's going and destroying all of this food. And he's real excited about this money he's making off of it. But this is where people just don't stop. They put their finances ahead of mankind. And because why wouldn't that food be tested? Why wouldn't, you know, unless they're trying to starve us. So so he said after he finished the dog contracts, he was going to do the human food. There's all this human food they're just getting rid of too and destroying. And so, I know that's going on, and he's out picking it up, but he's making a lot. And then there's mass graves being done where they're just out of a big back of a truck, just bringing out all these bright blue body bag things and putting them in a giant mass grave. And I think that some people are trying to say that that they think it's over by the Strip or something. But by the way the people were dressed and stuff, I was thinking, I think this is more like the Congo, because that's going on over there too. Like there's mass, you know, genocide ever all over the place. It is the ZIONSISTs are going all in on this. Like this is, you know, we're in the last stand. They're going to take out as many people as they can, and they're still going to be discovered. They're still going to be shown. I mean, it's too out there. Everybody knows. Everybody's talking about it, and so it's like people know who's the bad guys, and you know, however they're connected into the ancient times, I think that they are an exaggeration of some sort, of a philosophy of these other beings. And these other beings have always been to destroy. There's beings that, you know, you got to think that there has to be the dark and the light there. We would have nothing to balance if we didn't have something else. And so there has to be the other side. And so in the other side, you know, we have the force that goes against nature. So it is the hostility towards the natural order, and they fight against natural order. But those of us who are of the light, of nature, of natural order, of, you know, understanding cause and effect and how everything works, then we are of support of that. So we are the counter. There's like a balancing to it. And it seems like right now so many people on the planet seem to be unaware of their own, you know, where they do lie. And it's like when they begin to wake up and to begin to see things, that is when you get your truth of being able to understand where it is you do lie. Where do you align? How do you really think? Do you really believe this way, or do you really believe that way? You know, because there's so much about our indoctrination and our programming that it causes so much confusion. And there's a reason why they start kids in their education system at such a young age. And when I was looking for, there was a bunch of different documentaries I was thinking about watching, and I'll probably watch some more of them. But there was, I started watching one about Hollow Earth, I think. And so it was talking about Admiral Byrd, and it was showing about so much stuff about them trying to, well, I'm sure they killed him, and then they hid the information just like they did with Tesla. Like these people, you know, I don't know, because I feel like that energy, it's like that this world knows that energy, and it pushes back on that energy. Like the stuff I've gone through, and you know, it's crazy. So anyways, I think that energy is always pushing back on a certain energy. And even when Admiral Byrd when he was talking to these other beings, and they don't call themselves Anunnaki, they call themselves, it sounded similar to that though, like Anuai or something, I don't know, and they look Nordic, the beings he was talking to. They were, you know, they look like Palladian people or something, but they were Nordic looking, and they are considered like inner earth or something. They're considered, because they're interdimensional, that's the thing. And so when Admiral Byrd went on this flight, he was like looking, because he had seen some sort of land or something. He had seen green, and he didn't think that made sense for there to be mountains. So he was looking over this land, and there was ice, and then it came to where it was green and mountains and stuff. And then at some point, these ships flew up next to him, and they had that design that was taken by the Yahtzees. But the actual design is like, I don't know what would be, I think it's more, not Middle Eastern, but like ancient I wouldn't say it was Chinese or something, but it's more ancient, from back into the Oriental Empire or something. Like, it's a symbol of, I think, movement, of how the universe moves. And I think, I'm not sure, but it has like these movement and then a ball. And see, it needs the dark to have moved the light. It does have to be that movement. That's what creates the movement. And so I think that's what it represents, but I don't know. But it was on the sides of these ships. And so they flew down to him, and they started talking over his radio, and they told him that they had taken over his ship. And so then they took his over. He couldn't do anything. And then they had him land, not in a typical airline fashion. They just lowered him like that, like a spaceship. And then they took him into these strange buildings and stuff. And see, they've taken so much of this information. They were trying to hide it from us. And even his son knew stuff, and then they caused problems with his son for his whole life. Apparently he had a lot of problems. And so but Admiral Byrd got to be let in to talk to their leader, and he looked like an old Chinese man or something, like how you picture like a guru or something. That's the picture that they were showing. And he was darker skinned. And see, there's something about that with like Mongoloid tribe. It is something, it is like a dark skin, like how the natural people, like I think that the natural people are something with this Mongoloid tribe or something. It is kind of like, they kind of look like black Chinese people. And there's a whole fucking thing about that with that Tartaria thing. If you watch that one that those guys put on last week, it keeps popping up on my thing, even though I watched it. I can't remember the name of their channel now, but anyways, I talked about it a couple days ago. And so that little Tartaria documentary, and but there's something about that to me that goes way, way back to the, like, where we get to the original tribes and stuff. And but that would be the like, if that would be the true Hebrew, that would be the because there's some birthright. There's a birthright to Earth. There's a certain, out of all these mixed up tribes and all this big old monkey fuck that they got going on, is that there's an original group of people, which many black people are claiming to be the original people. And I think all the evidence leads to them, and there's more to the story and stuff. But when you go way, way back into the tribes and stuff, I think it is more like what I had said before. They look more like Aborigines people. And, but a lot of have been, there's just been all sorts of breeding and in science lab shit and stuff. So there's been a lot of things that has, like, the evolution and stuff. But I think if you went to, like, if you tried to find people who were the most looked like, and I don't even know all the different tribes, but Admiral Byrd also taught, or in this thing, it was, I'm pretty sure they were saying him, also talked about the ant people. It was the Hopi tribe. The Hopi tribe had the ant people. They talked about the ant people, and the ant people came and helped them and taught them a lot of stuff. And see, and these other tribes over here in the Amazon, when they saw pictures of the Greys, they called them the ant people. People keep thinking they're out here in spaceships. They keep thinking they're coming through. If they're coming up and going in. But so when Admiral Byrd was talking to this emperor, leader, or whatever this guy was to this civilization, that he had said that the reason he had gotten through because of his heart, that he was true, a true kind person. That's why I'm telling you, it's all a vibration, and your vibration shows. Like, they can see your vibration coming. It isn't, you can't hide your vibration. People get all caught up in thinking, well, if something looks a certain way, it means a certain thing. No, it can mean very opposite. You got to focus on the person in the inside. And so, and the more you become spiritually aware, the more people become transparent. You can see right through them. So, but that is how that guy said he was able to go through, was because he didn't call it your high vibration and stuff. He said because of your pure heart of love and stuff like that. So he was able to go through. That is what I keep saying. Like, it's about the firmament and stuff. We can't, it is your vibration that holds you back, and that is the vibration that lowers you is the attachment to this world. That lowers your vibration, because your vibration is way higher. That's why through this ascension period, you have to connect to your higher self, to your soul part of you, so that you do raise your vibration up to where your vibration really is. And you have to break loose, break free from this structured concept, this idea of what you believe is true and where you think you are and stuff like that. So that is the evolution, that is the ascension, that is you moving through. And so that is your connection, when you connect to your higher source of self, so that it pulls you out of the dark. But there's a lot you have to see in order to do so, because the game is dark and people do dark things and dark things happen. And so there's a lot of toxicity and stuff that people have to release in order to reach that part of their vibration, to be in that high vibration. But even when I saw, before they ever even said, before he talked to the guy and stuff, and it just showed how he was able to fly, and he said that his things were going crazy. There was all of a sudden there wasn't a sun. There was some other things that was clear that he had gone through a portal. And so as soon as he had gone through that portal, I thought it was because this guy's a good guy. That's how we got through there. He's a good guy. He is, of love. And then when he went and met the leader, and I'm getting all these sparkles. They used to do that all the time. Now they do it sometimes. Oh, there's so many sparkles. It's so cool. I used to have that happen all the time, especially when I first started having this, I don't know, it's not awakening to me. It was just like when I realized, like, things started looking three-dimensional. It was just like a questioning. Something shifted. And but in that shift, when I was going to the yoga and going to the Reiki and tarot, all that kind of stuff, I started getting all of these, it would be like this sparkling glitter or something. It would be these white flecks, and they would start going in my eyes. And I started realizing it was a communication, and that they would do that when they would get excited. And oh my gosh, now it just got me almost tears. That was so, anyways, I guess was a thing. It was exciting to have a realization like that. So but that's how he could move through the portal, was because of his vibration. And they knew he was a kind person. And they said that they had come through after Hiroshima, like I had said before. Like, this is, I think, pretty well known in the ufology community, is that after those, Nagasaki and those things, when they used that certain thing, that they were stopped. That was like, oh, because this is where you have to understand, like, where people are Bigfoot, giants, and there's this creature and that creature. It's like, because we've always shared this place. This has never been this is an open space, for one thing. And, but we're contained because we're birthed in. But the other people, they can move throughout. And those certain kinds of creatures like that, they can't go and live like that kind of way up in a certain, like you don't go through the heavens and being chased by creatures. You have to go into certain realms, and then beings can go in and play the parts of different creatures to see, to understand, because we are the creators. So we're creating everything. And so, So anyways, okay, now I'm just off all over the place. Okay, so Admiral Byrd got through because of his vibration. He had to go through a portal. Things changed as he was going through. His instruments stopped working. There was things, just how those other guys, I've seen these ones in the water go through, and the whole water changes. It's so trippy. But, you know, there's portals all around. There's all these different variations in frequency. And as what a part of their containment in their concrete jungle is to create a certain vibration. And they want to keep us in that low vibration where we stay sick and not healed and unhealthy, because then we always turn to them to save us because we've become so dependent, even to the point where they are sitting there spraying us like animals, spraying us like bugs, and feeding us massive amounts of poison, and we're getting sick, and we still run to them. Oh, help me, what do I do now? It's like, don't trust the people you're running to. And so but anyways, so there's these vibration and portals and stuff all around us, and that's how, you know, we can slip out and slip into one. People do it all the time. People find themselves going through I just heard this story the other day, and I've heard so many like this. But these guys, they were out in I think they were in a work truck, and yeah, it was a work truck. And they were running out of gas. They didn't get gas, and then it was getting dark or something, and they were just like panicking. And so they just really wanted a gas station. All of a sudden, there was a gas station sitting there, and they went up and they went into it, and they said it was the weirdest experience. It was so weird. The man didn't even seem like, you know, just regular old human looking. Looked different, and everything was just weird. Nothing was right. And then they got the gas, and their car was just chugging and chugging and chugging, and they got back to the shop. And so the place, it was having a problem with the chugging with this gas. So they drained the gas out, and they checked it, and they said it was the same concoction that they used during World War II, because they used some sort of sweet concoction, and, you know, everybody's cars were chugging along, but there was gas shortages, so they had created this other stuff. And they said that's what this car was full of. So the guys were totally freaked, and they went back looking for it, and they could never find it again. But the whole behavior of the man who ran it, his attitude and everything was not of this time. And anyways, but people shift through portals all the time because, you know, your vibration, it depends on the person. It depends on the being and in the inside. And so Admiral Byrd, he could travel out and have a communication with these people. And they told him that they had come in after those things had dropped, after they had blown those places sky high, because that affects all the different realms, because it is multi-realms. And we aren't just this, you know, we are contained, but our containment is opening, and even in our own world. And so in the, so I'll just scoot it up to paint on my face. I was not thinking it would last super long, but so anyways, the beings had told him that they had come over when that stuff had blown. And I think a whole bunch of different beings did. Like, everything started being watched by different beings. And that they had come in to try and talk to our politician, our government, and that our government wouldn't. They even tried to kill them, and it was all sorts of stuff. So that, but they're way more advanced. Like, you can't use weapons and stuff against them. And I think it was even Admiral Byrd was saying about this ability for them to be able to hide in the clouds and stuff, which, you know, that's what is happening all the time out here, where they're always up there. And they are, you know, manning us, you know, they're watching over us, and there is battles. I know there's battles going on up in the sky, because, you know, these certain group of people who want to maintain their hold. But we have all these other people who are breaking us free. But us, our part is to awaken, to see the truth, and to understand this place is so much bigger and broader than anything that we've ever understood or were taught. But we have the inner knowing inside of us. That's why everybody has to connect to their inner knowing. But getting into your inner knowing and getting into, into a relationship with your soul, you have to process through your dark energy, through your darkness, through the things that you've done that you feel shame and guilt about. So you have to go through the process to releasing in order to come into union with yourself. And so, and finding union in yourself is where you can create balance, and where you have to be sure of yourself that you're a spinning star. You can't be spinning at somebody else's speed. You have to be spinning at your own. You have to know who you are. You have to be true to yourself. You can't be trying to please others. The stars in the sky couldn't exist if they're trying to please others. So it's every soul's responsibility to do their work in order to heal and raise their vibration, and know their responsibility is a spiritual aspect. So it's each person, and that's why the awakening is like, and that's why you can't, walk somebody through it. Each person has to go inside. They have to go internal. You have the whole workbook inside you, but you have to go in and find it. And then you have to be really open to yourself and open to, it's like opening your mind and opening your heart. And so, anyways, but they told Admiral Byrd that they had come and tried to talk to our leaders and stuff, and that we were a warring kind of society that's just out to, we were always going to reach where we are. They were determined. They were determined for destruction and control. And it's the humans that break free will be the ones that will move forward. And it is, it's an endeavor. And even in the game, though, in the game that we're here doing this, if you once you leave your body, you just go back to where you were. It's not like you're stuck here. You go back to where you were. The things that will bind you is you can never move out of where you are until you work through the things that you've left behind. And the only place to work through the things you leave behind is in the dense place that you conjured them up. And so, the dark things that people do in this realm, and when you have to put it back in balance, you can't go up in the higher one and put in what you did down here. Although you have all sorts of guides always around you, talking you through things, trying to help you so that you don't make mistakes and stuff. So everybody's always trying to put things in balance. But when you do, everything you do to put out of balance, you have to put back in balance. And so it's all dependent on how big of a thing. And like right now, we're dealing with people who have done such huge things. It's like, man, it seems astronomical. I just saw someone talking about one of the arrests that's being done right now is a guy who had social status, respect. He might have been a politician. He could have been a school official. It could have been a judge. I'm not sure what his position was, but he was well respected and stuff like that. And now it's coming out and I think he was a part of one of the organizations that we're supposed to trust. And now it's coming out what was on his computer. And it wasn't just stuff of seeing what other people were doing to little ones. He also had videos of himself. And he had whole things about, some of these people, when they go out, parts of you have to break in order to keep feeding a perversion. When it starts becoming so fetishy and stuff, you're breaking something inside of you in order to get there. And at a certain point, there's so much broken that it's like you've become no morals, because how could you face yourself? So you had to break free from your own moral construct. And so they break themselves apart in order to even live the lives they choose. And they become shallow and hollow. That's the selling one's soul. Because there's so many people who, when they say about, these people selling their souls, there's not really a double to sell it to. The double is the puppet masters, and you have to do what they say. So you can't be an individual. You can't have your individual thoughts. These people can't stand up to these people. They can't say anything. They'll destroy you. They'll take everything you own. They'll kill the people you love. They don't care. And these people, that's the kind of games they play, is, you know, they know the severity of loss, and they have a whole thing of understanding how much we love, you know, that we are, if you saw us as something, if you didn't think of us as humans, if you thought of us of, you know, a group like ants. Like, I think ants are pretty fucking fascinating. They will even go out and find their dead and bring them home and stuff. And they will stand on each other's backs. They will do everything. They work together. And see, that's been disrupted in us because we are more of a very hive mind. And they have tried to manipulate this hive mind in order to create negative space, in order to create division. And that is how they've been using our own energy against us. But everybody has, you know, like I keep trying to say, everybody has that light center inside them that they are dimming in order to participate in this dysfunctional society. But each person has to focus on that light and find their light. And right now, I mean, they even have all these young, angry people out fighting battles that they know nothing about. They just interject themselves, and it may feel like that you have a cause, but once you're causing more friction and more division, then what is your cause producing? So there's a different way about going through things. It doesn't all have to be hostile, but like they were told Admiral Byrd, it's like this is a hostile environment, and that's why we have to see all this hostility, all this anger, all this dark energy being purged out, because this has been a feeding source for dark energy. And I think they even have a name for these beings that I always just see them as, I think they're called like I hear people say something. There's some beings are called the Atrons, or the Atrons or something. I don't know. God, it is so eerie out. It is so, I keep thinking it is so freaking eerie. It's so foggy right now. Of course, I woke up to rain again. And then the sneezing, and the dog keeps itching. I'm totally, I just don't feel good. It's just, I don't feel good. And I know my body's trying to fight stuff. And see now, after I gave the dogs that root tea, my root stuff in their food, I'm going to keep doing that. Even the honey that vet was saying is really good for the antimicrobial, antibacterial, because you got to hit with the dogs with the natural stuff. And you got to be so careful about what we're feeding them. It's just like, it's so mental. So mental how none of this is real, but we have to pretend like it is. Like, it's wild. It's wild how we can be affected by things that aren't real. It just blows my mind. You know, it's fascinating. This is a fascinating game, I'll tell you. It is like, this is fucking high-tech shit, man. You know, because we can feel, we can experience, we can, and it's all in here. It's just, I don't know, it's just wild. It's just wild. And, but, you know, it's the hardest thing is trying to get people to understand. Man, it is a frustrating thing to try and get people to understand, like, what this place is, what's really going on. And then you just hear these people who, I don't know. I just hear so many people who are just so lost. They're just so lost and not questioning things. But anyways, you know, I keep saying this is all this dark energy has to keep being purged out. And that's why, you know, we're seeing so much horrible stuff. All this horribleness and all of these big exposing of people, and how, and there's gonna keep being that duality shift, you know, just like that guy I was talking about on Instagram. You know, he's all saying one thing, and all of a sudden it shifts and it's on him then. And so all of these big, like, exposing kind of things. I don't know why Nicole Kidman was just coming in my mind. There was something weird that I had seen, I think, with her. There's just going to keep being, people are going to just keep being exposed and exposed and exposed for who they are at their core. This one with Susan Sarandon, it's weird because, you know, she was an activist. She's always been an activist, but then it would seem like she was on the wrong side. So maybe this is a lesson for her even, because it seemed like there was a lot of times that she was on the wrong side of a certain situation. And so, you know, maybe this is for her to see, or maybe, you know, she has been, you know, trying to stand up a certain, like, you know, you just don't know. You don't know what's in anybody's heart and soul. How you could tell is if they can get through a portal. You can get through a portal if you don't have a good heart, if it doesn't match that. In all these ones that are around here, they may not all be higher vibration. But like where Admiral Byrd went, he could go out and go into another realm where other beings were existing. And in order to go there, you have to be of a higher vibration. That's why this ascension is all about, to give us these opportunities that opens up the entire universe, the entire galaxy, for us to be able to travel and to intermingle, to party down, you know, with other beings in other places. I'm going to be doing it, I'll tell you that. I'm going to be going everywhere we are allowed. Everywhere that my vibration will take me, I'm going. And so I'm not going to, you know, I want to experience everything. And let me think. Because so Admiral Byrd, so he could move through there. So the vibration, the people... Oh, because I think that's kind of what the quantum computer thing is going to be. It's going to kind of be able to read your vibration. You know, like I think it will be kind of like when we go in there, it's going to be based on your vibration, how much you can heal. But you can keep healing to raise your vibration. So it's not like it would be restricted. But I think that there will be some people who will be a higher vibration who will go in and get really good benefits. And then there'll be other people who may not get the same benefit. But you just everybody's just got to keep working on yourself and raising your vibration. But I do think it's going to be something like that. This quantum is going to be some kind of like an interaction. But there is a whole thing about, you know, the raising your vibration is, you know, takes us out of this concrete jungle world that they created, where they weren't trying to keep it low and keep us sick. So right away, just moving into that higher vibration moves you out of sickness and out of disease. But see, so many people hold on to sickness, hold on to disease. They rely on Western medicine. They hold on to diagnoses like it's a fucking God gift, you know, it's like, oh, thank you, Lord, for this diagnosis. You know, like they want to totally align with it. It gives them an excuse, just like religion's an excuse, the devil's an excuse, everything's an excuse. Well, I don't have to take care of myself because I got this problem. Well, you know, I guess I can hold you back as long as you want it to hold you back. It's up to you. But it is, that's where your dependency should be being revealed to you. And so there's going to be a lot of dependency that will be revealed through this. But anyways, the higher vibration automatically will make you healthier and feel better. But you know, there's people who can go in there and their dependency is so much like, oh, this is ridiculous, that it won't work at all for them. And that doesn't mean it doesn't work. It means that their vibration is holding them back. It's each individual. So the more that you work on yourself and raising your vibration, the more effect you'll have going into something that is based on your vibration and putting you in your optimum. So anyways, I think that, and right now, I guess, unless, you know, there's more fake footage of bullshit, but there's a big Tesla plant that is blown up that's on a big giant fire. So there's that happening. But I think this weekend is definitely showing signs. And maybe those carts that were set around New York were set for this weekend. Maybe that was the plan. Maybe they didn't want to waste it on a marathon when you're going to have so many people at Macy Day in all eyes. Like, how many people get up on Thanksgiving morning and watch the Macy? Oh, yeah, that's Thanksgiving morning, isn't it? And they get up and watch it. We used to do that when I was a kid. How many eyes? Like, you know how that many eyes are on a marathon when they were having all that stuff going down? It was like, well, you know, a lot of people, I guess, wouldn't see. Oh, gosh, dang. fuck, maybe that is when it's gonna go. And there's all sorts of BS being passed in New York. They are doing all sorts of shenanigans, and where people are like, "You got to get out of here, everybody! We got to get out of here." Like they're pulling some shenanigans for sure. But there's certain places where they have a strong hold, and New York is one of them. And I think that is a lot of stuff Trump was constantly trying to say about things. Even when they're taking away his business license and stuff, you should be able to see like, okay, so how are these people being able to control a billionaire like that and take away stuff from him? Because these people have gotten themselves so in charge. Like, they run around doing horrible crimes, and they're all covered by their buddies. And, you know, we can't get away with speeding over 5 miles an hour, and we're getting fucking pulled over, and these people are fucking out perving on everybody, out doing all sorts of atrocious shit, doing rituals, fucking eating gross. It's like, it's horrendous. And here we are, like, getting everything we do. You jaywalk, you walk down the street, oh, you're being arrested. It's absurd. But so anyways, they're passing a bunch of stuff. They can come into your house, like they can come in and say, you've got herpes and we're going to arrest you. There's nothing you can do about it. And they're taking you in and locking you into a quarantine center. So there's some kind of whole thing going on there with a whole bunch of stuff, cutting all this money out of the education, cutting all this money out of this and that, putting it all towards this other and this control. But anyways, you know, as all this stuff is going on, so today's Wednesday, tomorrow would be the day, D-Day. I don't know if it will be the D-Day, because then there's also the whole thing with Black Friday. And so, but Thanksgiving is the Macy Day Parade. That's what we would watch in the mornings when we got up. And they've got all those things strapped down around town. I wonder if that follows the route. I wonder what the route is for that. I know that the guy who was going and looking, he had said there was some on 70th and 71st, but I don't know anywhere where that's at. I've never been to New York, so I have no reference in my mind. And anyways, but man, I would be aware of that, because those things are still sitting there. Like, they haven't been going off randomly or anything, and they're all sitting there still tied up around. Nobody's, you know, and so it seems like they're set for a certain thing. But oh my God, what a perfect, because there's all these people who are saying they're going to that to start a demonstration right there. So there's people who are intent on causing bullshit. So, I mean, perfect time. These people know how to set this shit up. That's what they were doing, was setting shit up. And people accommodate. People are like, oh, well, you know, I've got to stand up. I've got to do this. You know, I've got to make sure. And so they all play along. So anyways, if they keep doing this, I'll have to go, because I have done, oh my gosh, I've done all this stuff to do the fence line. I got him on the thing, which if I put him on the whatever, the lead thing, whatever it is, you know, those long, where some people's the whole dog, their whole life is that. It's just tragic, man. My neighbor's dog is always on, if he's outside, he's always on that thing. He's got like 10 feet, I don't know, it could be 15 feet, 10 or 15 feet of room to move. It's like, God damn, what a limitation in life. Like, to me, that's bad karma. I mean, it is. Being disrespectful to another animal's freedom and rights as an individual soul is bad karma. It just is. So but if I put him on that, see, he won't do anything. He'll just kind of sit there like, if he's off, he'll run around the yard. And I can't even believe how much this guy can run. And he leaps. He's like a fucking kangaroo. The way he can jump, like, it's crazy. But he'll run around. It doesn't ever tire him out. He'll still come in here and run around. It's like, oh my God, he needs the yard to run around in. And but he keeps finding ways out, and I keep going and putting all these rocks on the bottom. But so I got to follow him around and find his holes. And he's also a digger. It's like, oh my God, the things that irritate the fuck out of me in a dog. And here he comes. It's like, okay, well, I've got, and he tries my patience like, oh my God, damn. Oh, I think I'm being real patient. And then he comes along and it's like, oh, motherfucker. Oh my God, damn. So anyways, he's a challenge for me, that's for sure. And but right now they're kind of settled. They haven't made moves. Still went over there. Crystal didn't get a dong on the bell, but she got a couple of them earlier. There was some ringing of those bells, but still it didn't do it this time. She's panting, and I don't know why. The fire's not even going. It would be better if you went in your room and went to bed for the day than in the living room. But anyways, so I'll have to go out and watch him and see what he's doing. And so we'll see what tomorrow brings, and what happens. And you know, it seems like the perfect time if you want a lot of people to see some horrible shit. It seems like the right time to start making those go off. And there's kids everywhere down there. Everybody goes to that. It's not just like a certain group of people. It's like a whole bunch, and not all people will be watching. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. And there's something about the Black Friday thing. If they did do something like that and they know that that's going to go down, then you can see why Black Friday, if we're going to go dark, like maybe they're going to turn the lights out or something. I don't know. It's just like basically you should never know what to expect. Be ready for anything. And, we're under attack until things turn the other direction, until we get out of the stranglehold that they have on our society. The more people who pay attention, the more people who wake up and make the change and do the stuff that needs to be done, the more that things change. But, as long as we are bound by evil, as long as people hold on to that darkness, then, the darkness will remain. But it's being exposed right and left. Like it's all over the place. And so I wouldn't want to be involved in it, that's for sure. But we'll see. I think there's going to be more and more people being exposed, more and more horrible things being exposed. So anyways, we'll just see how this day goes, and we'll see how the rest of the week goes. I mean, shit's going to go down, whether this is the big thing that changes everything for us and everything starts going the other way, or if it's just more shenanigans leading us through the dark so that people can wake up and see the light. And, it takes a lot for people to wake up. Like, people just accept so much bullshit. So anyways, we'll see how it goes. And I'm going to get to going and taking the dogs out and stuff. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.